Welcome to this week's Denny Artachi Show. Man, it's been a while because I've been busy and life's been crazy, and it's the holiday season. I have a great friend and guest, Mr. Frank Gramlich. I said that correctly, right?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Frank is a CPA, so I love to partner with CPAs because they're trusted people, as I am with my financial business. But as you can see, Frank is not a nerdy bean counter. He's actually a cool dude. So I want to talk to him, with him today, about his practice and some of the things that CPAs do for people. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing real good. I'm glad to be here.
All right. It's Friday. Oh, my God. We live for Friday so much. I wish Friday was every day. Maybe when we get retired, we'll be like that. So, Frank, you're a CPA. Man, that's a tough test to pass, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
It was
a long nightmare.
And then you usually have to do 150 hours, and then there's like a 2-year apprenticeship somewhere, right? Yep. And then you're on your own to sink or swim.
Yes.
Okay, so first thing that most people talk about for CPAs is, oh my God, I got a notice from the IRS. Help! Or some people ignore it. So what should people do if they get a notice from the IRS?
I think it's important when people get a notice from the IRS that they should remain calm, first of all. Remain calm and contact your CPA and get somebody who...
What if they don't have a CPA?
Well, then it's time to find a CPA.
You know what? I know a lot of people, me speaking, as smart as I think I am, I used to do my taxes years ago until I came across a CPA and I saw how stupid I was. And I always have a saying, it's okay to be stupid in life. It's not okay to remain stupid.
That's a good one.
So I know people go to H&R Block because they think it's cheaper and it doesn't matter. But man, when you save them thousands of dollars, that discounted tax return doesn't seem so appealing.
Yeah, the companies and the services like H&R Block, Intuit, they certainly have their merits and their usefulness. And for taxpayers who have more complicated tax returns, the more complicated your tax return is, the more reliable relying on a CPA or an enrolled agent is going to be to making sure that you don't have tax problems in the future. I think there's a limitation on the quality of service that you get with the retail accounting services, tax preparation services. That it's like a sliding scale, I think.
Well, I mean, if you just make $30,000 a year and you're a W-2 employee, you probably don't need a CPA. But if you make, I don't know, there's no, I guess it's all relative because I personally know some very wealthy people that on paper only make $50,000 a year. And I'll never forget in a debate that President-elect Trump had, they said, this man only pays 4% in taxes. And he said, hey, if you don't like it, then change the laws. So the fact of the matter is rich people figure out how to beat the system.
Yeah,
they find the right CPAs, the right attorneys. They form LLCs, S corporations, and that's how they beat the system. Where, even if you just make $60,000 a year, why pay all the taxes when you can find a professional and do it? I don't even know what the hell is the average tax return cost these days. Is there such a thing?
No, I don't think there's an average tax return.
Right.
Everyone's like a fingerprint. Everyone's different.
I know it used to be.
But I'd say you're probably looking somewhere between $250 and $500, depending on the CPA.
Right, exactly.
And that's for a basic return. That's before we start adding bells and whistles and forms and credits and the various different elements that create the tax benefits and refunds, draw the refunds.
When you take someone on as a client and you see their previous year's returns, how great do you feel when you amend their returns and you put money in their pocket?
That's a good way to ensure a job next year.
I think so. And you know what's interesting? the thing about CPAs and why I like partnering with you all is we all learn from each other. And you all are the most trusted person in their life. They show you everything. They trust you more than most advisors. They're doctors, they're lawyers. And I think you all play a very important role in the financial planning process, or at least you should.
I agree with that. Yes.
But somehow they try and tell you CPAs that it's a conflict of interest if you help your clients. And I don't see why do they think it's a conflict of interest?
Are you referring to CPAs being involved in the financial planning process itself?
Yes.
Conflict. I don't think it's a conflict of interest.
All they have,
I'm a dangerous mind on this topic. Although I think the next generation of CPAs is going to merge financial planning and public accounting.
I think you should, absolutely.
I think there's momentum in that direction. I see more of it now than I did before. I wasn't really paying that close attention to it before, but honestly, it seems like it's increasing more in frequency of firms developing their own financial wealth management practice. I intend on building a financial wealth management practice I intend on building a wealth management department into my practice in the future, but that'll be something that I say for a couple years down the road.
Yeah, I think all it is they just like as a fiduciary, I have to give an ADV form to show where I make income in other sources. Mm-hmm. As many of you know, I still play music, I still speak, and I have to let people know all my sources of income. So I think the only potential is you may have to just tell your clients that you do indeed make revenues besides doing tax preparation work. But here's what's interesting, as I say, as you are the most trusted person in their life and more successful CPAs, as they're making more money, the percentage of actual tax prep work goes down. And I know that when you offer all these other services, you are helping your clients, and they do want to stay with you, and they do like to have it in-house. And that's why I like partnering with CPAs as well, because I didn't even know until I started how important a defined benefit plan is for those who want to put away more money than the traditional IRA. Mm-hmm. Or a SEP IRA. And I'm trying to do due diligence on this new account. I think it's called a 412E3, where it's a cash balance account where they can put even more money away. And why would they do that? Because they'd rather pay themselves than the IRS.
Yeah, and they're also limited by the kind of contributions that they can make in their own plans to a 401k plan or something like that. So there's limits they're kind of other products that are available to investors that take the lid off of some of the ceilings that were put in place for the plans that most of us have.
You know, what's interesting is I don't know why people would choose to still do traditional IRAs when they should do the Roth. I mean, especially if you don't make too much money, because there are limits. I don't remember what the limit is on Roth accounts, that if you make over, I think, $175,000, you can't contribute. But the vast majority of people listening to this program, you're okay. And you should do a Roth, because you won't pay taxes when it grows into a big account down the road. And I know also people say they don't believe in life insurance, but if you fund a permanent life insurance policy and you build all this cash value, you get to take that out tax-free as well. So these are the kind of things that I think are important. Now, right now, we're in December, and pretty soon, January, you CPAs are going to be like, talk to the hand, not the face. So are there any recommendations that you think people should do year-end to get ready for their taxes?
Just get ready. Get ready early. If you have a CPA, give them a call, see if you can have a consult real quick before the year's out. That's not realistic for everybody at this point of the year. It is still for every CPA at this time of the year, but it is still realistic for me, as I'm still growing my business and have a lot more flexibility than some more established firms do. But get in touch with your CPA. Have a planning meeting. Have a planning meeting, not just a preparation meeting. There's so much more goes into planning that disseminates into the other aspects of your financial. I'm gonna say that whole thing.
See, this
again.
guy's real, folks. I can have a beer with this guy.
Financial.
He's not gonna remember a script or talk to you from the up in the clouds. Well, planning is definitely important, even for me, and keeping receipts and seeing what you want to do. There's a couple of things now that Trump is going to be back in the White House. We're all hoping that he keeps programs like the Opportunity Zone in place, which if folks, if you're out there listening, he had come up with these programs to offset tax bills, and it's not just tied to real estate. You could have a stock portfolio, anything of value that has grown that you would like to sell, but you want to minimize the taxes. You think that it's like guessing whether the Fed's going to raise rates or not, but we're all hopeful that he keeps the opportunity zones going, right?
I hope so. I think there's opportunity for them to expand the opportunity zones from
Right.
what I've gathered.
They're supposed to. We're good until 2027, and basically, folks, what that is you can defer the taxes until 2027, invest it in something that you're getting some dividends to offset the tax bill, and then, of course, 1031s have been around for over 100 years, and I'm surprised how many people don't know about that. Where if you have commercial real estate, you want to sell it, but you don't want to pay the tax bill. A 1031, you can never pay the taxes and have it to your beneficiaries on a stepped-up basis. And you can invest the money and get a dividend while you're waiting for that to happen. So if for most people, there's different corporations. And Frank, what do you think the major difference would be from a C Corp and an S Corp to help people in their tax bills?
Well, an S Corp, having an S Corp avoids double taxation. For most small business owners, I don't think a C Corp is reasonable for a small business owner. You're subject to double taxation, whereas the S Corp is designed to limit your tax liability, and have the revenue or income of the business flow through to its owners directly, as opposed to being taxed and then being taxed when it's distributed to shareholders.
So small business owners, that's definitely a niche market. And what would you say to people listening that do have a small business? What kinds of things are you helping small business owners with?
I'm helping small business owners with, I'm working with small business owners who are closer to the startup phase, the beginning, their inception. Mm-hmm. So I'm helping set up their accounting systems, help them get a system going for tracking their income and expenses. I'd say for the most part, first in Excel, and then when they're ready to graduate to something more like a QuickBooks product, we'll get them into QuickBooks. I'm helping my clients get good habits. Under their feet. That's critical.
Like not procrastinating.
Not procrastinating, but also getting them ahead of their quarterly obligations. A lot of them don't realize. A lot of small business owners don't realize that they have quarterly filing obligations, and in some cases, folks get signed up for payroll when they don't have employees, and they miss that first 2 months of payroll because they don't even think that they have employees. So why file? They get a penalty. They have to. The penalty's not negotiable, and usually $50 to $150 later, they file a informational return, get their payroll shut off, and then they have to open it back up when they are ready for employees. Just little kind of unfortunate things that come up and bite you and get in your way that are nagging to small business owners. But if we get them accustomed to it and make it part of their calendar, then they don't have the problem going forward when they are ready to surge.
So, we didn't tell, but tell them about your website. Give them your phone number to call to get a hold of you, Frank.
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach me at area code 561-739-4320. And my company's name is Xavier Financial Services. That is spelled out. That is my website, www.xavierfinancialservices.com. And
you're located where?
And I'm located in Palm Beach County in Lake Worth. Oh, Jesus. I'm located in...
The lights are making Frank nervous here, folks. Dude, listen. Let's stop talking business for a little bit, because when I first met you at the function, I said, this dude is not a CPA. I mean, he's just totally different. Where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay, Philly. All right. So you think the Eagles got a shot this year or what?
I definitely think the Eagles got a shot.
I'm telling you, the NFC is it's ready for the picking, but Detroit, man, they look pretty strong. Yeah. So, okay, so Philadelphia.
Detroit's filthy. They're a good team. They're banged up, and they're still killing teams that are supposed to give them a hard time.
Their second strings are coming in and destroying people. I know. So, and here's the thing. If they get the top seed, everything has to go through that dome. Mm-hmm. Where if Philly gets it, I don't know. It'll be... So did you grow up in Philadelphia until what age?
Oh, no. I was born in Philadelphia. I ended up being raised in South Florida for the most part.
No kidding.
When I was 10 years old, we moved to Coral Springs. Lived in Coral Springs until I graduated from high school. And,
did you go to Coral Springs High?
No, I went to St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay. Years ago, I lived in Coral Springs, and I also had a house in Pompano. Man, that Broward traffic is brutal. I got to tell you. I'm here in Jupiter, and I don't know how I got this lucky. This traffic is not as congested. So you grow up from 10 years old, and how long have you been a CPA?
I've been a CPA for 3 years, but I've been in public accounting since I graduated from FAU with an accounting degree, spent 8 years in public accounting, passed the CPA exam at the end of that time, but had to wait until I got my 150 hours until a couple years ago.
Exactly. Folks, it is not easy to be CPA. And you know what's interesting is a lot of people are kind of getting out of the CPA business, which I think presents a great opportunity. So what would you say? Well, first of all, you're different because you're not a nerdy-looking guy or speaking, but what's different about your practice?
My practice, what sets my practice apart would be me, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm the selling point of my practice. And I say that I am aware that I'm different than
most CPAs, right?
CPA. Trust me, all the idiosyncrasies, they're in here. I just bottle them up more. But
what did you do before you were in this? I mean, because you said you were doing accounting for how many years?
Yeah, I was doing accounting for 8 years.
Okay.
8 to 10 years. And then 12 years at TD Bank. And my work at TD Bank was centered around risk management. I kind of graduated out of audit into risk management, risk and controls, internal audit. And then my role with TD Bank got me in tune with their control.
So, dude, that makes you pretty cerebral. You know that, right? You're not just Billy Bob from Muskogee somewhere. Well, that's cool. And look, you like rock and roll, right? And what are some of your hobbies that you do when you're not bean counting?
When I'm not bean counting, of late.
Yeah, before tax season, what do you do for fun?
I joined a bowling league this year.
Really?
So I bowl and I golf. And but the most important thing is my time with my kids. When I get my time with my boys.
Are you married?
I am not married.
Well, how many kids you have?
I have 2 sons, 12 and 10.
That'll keep you. That'll keep you busy. Yeah. Wow.
Name them.
Dude, and I golf too. Let's play.
Let's do it.
I definitely golf. I just did last weekend was a charity golf. We raised money for battered and homeless women and children, the Miss Foundation. But golf is the greatest and worst game at the same time because you can come out and wow, this I'm doing great, and come back the next day like you never played the game before. It is the most humbling sport ever invented. And we pay for the abuse. It's not free, folks.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I started golfing 5 years ago when I moved back to Florida. I never golfed in my life.
okay.
My dad took me out golfing when I was in high school, and I was a baseball player, and he told me about my baseball swing. And after 9 holes of my baseball swing, hearing about my baseball swing, I said, I'm never playing this game again in my life. I never did.
Yeah, right. I originally got into golf to relax and get out because you're out in the nature, open and quiet. And then when you have bad rounds, it's not as relaxing as you think. But I really don't. I got to be honest. I really don't get angry anymore out there because what's the point unless you're hitting a lot of balls and you've got the best people in the world hit so many balls and they have trainers and you got to watch who you golf with. There's some friends I've gone out with I don't want to golf with anymore because they go out there, they scream, they throw their clubs, and I go, hey, when's the last time you golfed? I don't know, a month or two ago. Okay. When's the last time you hit a ball? I don't know, I haven't. Then why do you think you can come out here and just nail it?
Easy tiger.
Right. But it's a humbling game, but it's a nice game. And so that's good. Like I said, when I first met you, I said that, and you run the chapter for Atlantic. What is the chapter called?
The FICPAs, that's the Florida Institute of Certified Public Accountants.
Right.
Atlantic Chapter, and that's the chapter that's basically housed in Boca Raton, about Boca, Deerfield, and a little bit north, maybe the Delray Beaches.
Cool. Well, like I said, I love partnering with CPAs, tax professionals. We learn from each other, and we both have the same goal. That is to take care of clients. And your role is so important. I cannot believe how many. There's an old saying, you don't know what you don't know. So until you have a professional look at your tax situation and see how much they can save you and also plan for you to be more successful. That's why it does make sense that we partner up and you start adding the financial services into your plan because your clients will love you for that because they do trust you more than the other people in their life. Mm-hmm. And when's the next gathering for the Atlantic chapter?
The next gathering for the Atlantic chapter, we're going to have a CPE training meeting on January, I want to say it's the 16th or the 17th. So that's going to be a Thursday around the third week of January. I can confirm that for you.
Cool. So you don't see any changes coming forth in 2025, or there's some programs that you think might go away that might be different for most people?
I don't really think so in 2025. I
Yeah.
think 2025 is going to be a status quo kind of year as far as it seems to be. I haven't taken my annual update yet, but it seems it's going to be a business as usual year because this is the last year before the 2017 Tax Cut and Jobs Act expires.
So it does expire next year, correct?
Next year. So it's not even going to be this tax year that's impacted. It's going to be this coming tax year that's impacted. But it is when it expires. I mean, Donald Trump just won the presidency, so I think the likelihood of it being reversed is unlikely.
Or maybe improved.
Expanded or enhanced a little bit.
Now, here's a funny thing, and I don't get political, folks, because there's no money in it, okay? So I don't do it. But it's funny how people say Trump only helped rich people, but that's not true. The standard write-off under his new plan, which you say will expire unless they extend it, was huge. I mean, a married couple can write off $27,000 without showing any receipts. Mm-hmm. And I doubt that they have that many write-offs. This is a W-2. And an individual, I think, is like 12 or 13,000.
Yeah, it's half.
So, I hope they continue it. One thing about you CPAs, you're calculated and you don't like to move fast. If you see something's changing, you're going to be like, well, let me check it out for a while before, you stick your toe in the water. You don't just jump in to see if the water's warm or cold. And that's good. I'm the same way. with my financial planning business. I'm more conservative than I am aggressive. I look at people, hey, if you want Bitcoin and high flyers, I'm not your guy. And go ahead and take 10% and knock yourself out with that. But give me the money that you want to keep and grow in a responsible way. Mm-hmm. And a lot of what you and I do is we monitor behavior with our clients. Dare I say, we stop them from doing stupid shit with their money and their life. And that's why they trust us. And that's why we earn our fees by doing that. So you don't see any big changes coming, as I don't either. Mm-hmm. But I think they may. What is the corporate? Didn't they raise the corporate tax rate under Biden? They did raise it, or they just let it status quo? They're probably going to lower it.
No, the corporate is where it's been.
It's been. So they did not change it.
They talked about it,
right?
And then there was a few things that were a part of the Biden tax bill. The talking about taxes during this political season wasn't a sexy topic.
But here's the thing: we all thought that because Biden said he was going to change it, and he never changed the tax codes, or he never got to it. So, and if they're expiring next year, and they're what made Trump popular, I'm like you. I don't think he's going to change much. If anything, he may expand it. Now he's putting together Elon Musk and I can't say his name. The V guy, that they're going to try and curtail government spending. And that's a big component on whether they should raise taxes or not, because we're in such a deficit. $33 trillion. I try and tell people, do you know how, if we were to go back 1 trillion seconds in time, you know where we would be? Can you guess? 1 trillion seconds.
I'm going to guess we're going to be somewhere near the dinosaurs.
You are a smart cookie. 30,000 BC. That's exactly right. And the thing is, we need to get a hold of that, or we're going to be doomed as a country, and our generations are going to be doomed. So in my financial planning practice, I'm trying to instill to clients more and more to mitigate their tax situation. Because it is important. It's not just what you make, it's what you get to keep. And the old adage was, hey, you know what? I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket when I retire. But that's not necessarily true, because if you have a pension, you'll be earning money from Social Security. You're getting money from your investments. And then we don't know where tax rates will be. Now, I don't think they're going to spike up under the incoming administration, but we are still historically in the lowest tax rates. It took until Reagan. When Reagan took office, we still had 70 and 80% tax rates in this country. People don't realize that. Mm-hmm. When he lowered the top one to 42%, it really opened up a lot of doors. And I know that most Americans, we hate taxes. I mean, we formed our new country leaving England because we didn't like taxes and other things. So hopefully that'll continue. And Frank, it's great to get to know you more, man. And thanks for being a good guy and not just a nerdy bean counter, which there's nothing wrong with being that. But I think most people like the humanistic approach in all business owners and people that they deal with. And so your tips are get ready for planning, right?
Yep. Get ready. Plan early. Plan ahead.
Yes. And again, there's no set fee, folks. It's just relative to what kind of work you need out there. And because there's also people that think TurboTax is a good idea, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, let me just pay $100. It's just blah, 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 blah. But then they come across as someone like you, and you save them more money, and then you validate the fee that you charge. So hopefully you'll come to one of my shows.
Yeah,
and so I guess that's it. It's Friday. You got any plans this weekend?
Yeah, we're gonna start the holiday season. Got a holiday party tonight. Got another one tomorrow. And the Eagles Steelers on Sunday. That's a big game.
That is a big game.
Battle for the Commonwealth.
So, dude, if the Eagles make the Super Bowl, what are you gonna do about that, huh?
Oh, there'll be a Super Bowl party for sure. It's going to be in the middle of tax season though. The last time they made the Super Bowl was not convenient.
So you all right, when
they won the Super Bowl was very convenient.
Very
for me,
convenient for you.
I got to go to the parade because I didn't have to work 65 hours a week back in those days. I was not in public accounting in 2018.
When you are knee deep, yeah, you do 12, 14-hour days, don't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes even more.
Yeah. Wake up in the middle of the night and just start working. It's nice to be able to work remotely with all this. In this iteration of my career. This is going to make for a lot of fun.
So when does it start? The end of January? Middle?
Probably the middle, like probably January 25th.
And then you come up for air, what? The end of April?
Yeah, in April, beginning of May.
And then when do you start your extensions?
I didn't have a lot of extensions last year, so I managed my extensions through to the deadline. With a few people who had late notices, but or late K1s, but I don't have a big extension business, and I don't want to have a big extension business right now. I want to be able to work with small businesses. My passion in accounting is to work with the small businesses. I'm happy to help individuals and make that part of my business because also I kind of want to be. I'd like to be able to offer accounting services to individuals who don't typically have access to it. Mr. Burns can have a team of accountants at his disposal, but regular people who are just trying to move up to that next level. I want to be there waiting when you get there, so you can ease into the next level and the next part of your growing and saving and financial profile. Is the word
Absolutely.
I was looking for a half hour ago.
Once again, give them your phone number.
My number is area code 561-739-4320.
Well, we're going to wrap it up on that. Frank, great having you, man. Great to getting to know you, man. I know we're going to do some great things together, and we're going to have some fun times together. And if you're out, we'll probably release this on Monday because people don't want to do everything on Friday when they're thinking about it's happy hour somewhere right now. But for us, it's only like 11 o'clock in the morning, so we'll be good for at least a few more hours. Thanks again for listening to Denny Artachi Show. Make it a great weekend and a great day, and we'll see you next time.